Hey everybody. So yeah, we're finished up with the moving everything into a light service, all the light stuff from the 3GS service into the light service, and that's awesome. And now we have a bit of other maintenance to do, and that's to not no longer carry a form and a subscriptions attributes in the light interface. Um, basically, when you create a light in the light component, it it all attaches a form and a sub, all the subscriptions and the forms to the actual light interface itself, which has been a bit problematic and doesn't make sense. It basically the whole concept ended up being like un didn't make sense after I added animations because animations have their own forms and subscriptions. So it's like an inconsistent solution and unscalable solution. But then also, on the long term roadmap of this application is to do exports and imports. And export and importing these is problematic because within these forms and subscriptions, there's um, cyclical references. So it references things within itself. So when you try to stringify the object, what happens is the stringifier uh, rolls into an infinite loop because it tries to stringify, like it has a reference. So it's like down, down, down. I got an attribute down here that references some other attribute up here, which then goes and references itself. So it ends up cycling. There's no way to actually um, convert it from an object into a string representation, which I guess is pretty interesting. You would think all things could be converted into a string, um, but I do find that in computer development, software development, we run into lots of like concepts that don't really can't be converted into human language, but they make total sense um, in in computing in the computing context, but in the talking to other people, which can make conversations extremely difficult. Um, because and then it also leaves wide open like the opportunity for just complete fakers to sort of inject themselves into the industry because a lot of things we just can't speak to very easily, so then it's difficult to evaluate people. um, and then a lot of times just because you can maybe take a test that shows that all the vocabulary and all the names of things, it doesn't mean that you don't know how to code. And then vice versa, just because you can't name all those things and all that doesn't mean you do know how to code. And so it makes for a difficult um, profession to evaluate people, and it's difficult to find good people, and it's difficult to corporatize these sorts of positions because there's no really good um, measurement technique for people, and that's very very difficult for a sort of any kind of organization that's very focused on having things down in writing and knowing exactly what to have and be able to measure the value of things. That's very difficult when you can't evaluate your developers. So, anyways, that whole thing, that whole rant came from the fact that you can't stringify forms and subscriptions. So, anyways, last time that I tried to work on that, I remember trying to do something very similar for meshes, and all I did was delete the two attributes and attempt to then um, just fix things as they broke, and that did not work. So I'm not going to go that approach this time. So basically, what I'm going to do is in the light manager component. Okay, I'm just going to kind of step through the concept of creating a new thing. So when you add a new light, um, basically we try to create a scaffold, a basic light, and we don't mention the form. And then in the 3J, then we call it 3JS service uh, to actually create a light, an actual 3JS light, and to basically, I guess, register this light into the various um, data structures for these lights. And then we create a light item form, and that is this is the crux of the problem. So we need this form to live, and and then we have this subscriptions. I believe this subscribe actually returns a subscription. Let's see. Our const sub equals. Yeah, so if we were to say const sub string, it's going to error out because it's going to be like, you aren't getting a string, you're getting a subscription. So that's my way of sort of just double checking that I'm thinking along the correct thing. So, okay, so basically I want this form and this subscription to live in a dictionary. And I believe I have a dictionary for this. I remember creating, a common, and then we have this form lookup interface, which has a form key number, and I'm guessing that would be the ID and a form group. So basically, I want one of these form lookup interfaces. So I will go back to my, okay, I don't think I need font list component up. Mesh manager, light, the HTML, we don't need that quite yet. And this guy. So up here at the top, I'm going to create a component property. So I already have a bunch of component properties. I'm going to create a new one, and I guess I should go look at the mesh and just try to stay kind of consistent with them. Okay, so form data dictionary. I think that's a good name. Met last month on video 176. Let's see. Refactors forms expressions out of the mesh interface. Good job, Marty. Good job. On July 18th. So let's go. Let's go. And now I'll hit the Alt and the left arrow to get back to where I was at. And I'll create a new form lookup interface. It does not know what that is, so I need to import that. And I got a blue magnifying glass, so I can do that. And basically, I believe the way it works is when this add light comes back, I believe I have an ID. So basically, right after that, I want to take my, and I guess right after the sub as well, because I have them both at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to collapse that down. And I don't know why it escapes, so that goes away. And I'm going to collapse this down just so I can read a little bit better. It's weird. I don't know why that is there, but anyways, start form dict, and then it's already an object, so I'm just going to say light. I guess it's not a this. It's actually local light item dot ID is equal to, and then a form dot form colon and sub. I guess that is not how that worked. Let's see. Oh, it is sub. Oh, it's not a. Yeah, it should be a common. All right, let's see what the complaint is here. It's saying that sub may be undefined. I don't think so. Okay, type subscription or undefined is not assignable to subscription. Type undefined is not assignable to subscription. Oh, silly rabbit. Sub. And I don't think I need this as subscription. And I try not to leave things in that I don't need, because it's very confusing, A, for me in the future and any other developer that would follow behind. So, you know, and it's like, for me, it was like I knew as soon as I saw my mistake that I didn't need that anymore. So it made sense to me to get rid of it because, like, I know right now. But in the future, I might be like, do I need this? I don't know. Like, how would you know, you don't know because you didn't just do it. So then the other thing I can do is I don't have to actually have that. I can just, with the newest JavaScript, you do not have to, if it's the same name, you don't have to redo it. And I don't like this. Like if I was all powerful, I would outlaw that. I do like actually having to do this. But as a professional developer, you have to get yourself to where you are comfortable with things. You know, it's like, it's kind of weird. It's like you get like internally offended if you see things that are different than kind of what you're used to. And so you, so I will do it like this, even though I don't really like it, because, you know, like when I'm working and stuff, um, if I see something like this, or if I see something, you know, let's say that I went like, I don't know, like let form equals light item dot form, and I saw something like that, you know, I want to be able to be comfortable with it, even though I don't really particularly like it, because it's just the way things are, you know, and there's just no reason. Um, it's sort of a fine balance between kind of having your standards and then, like, I don't know, fighting with windmills, you know, like, you just, from Don Quixote, you know, like sometimes you just, things are the way they are and you just need to go with it because it's not that big of a deal. And sometimes it is a big deal and you need to stand up for what's right and to try to do the right things and stuff. And, you know, trying to figure out when is not simple. But anyways, so I think this is a good start for today. I've got my form dictionary. I think the next step is to um, go ahead and uh, inside of the actual template, use the form dictionary instead of the form item, which I don't think that is that big of a deal. And then the next step would be like, see, like in this patch value, I need to go in and, um, instead of getting the light items form, get the dictionary for the IDs form and patch the value. And when I go to destroy these, I need to destroy them from the dictionary, not from the light item. And that's, and then just delete it from, hopefully then at that point I can just delete it from the interface and and do it that way instead of, you know, all right, and, you know, instead of assign this to light item form, assign it to form, which at that point I guess then I'll be able to um, get rid of this part of this. And that's probably going to be about it. And then that will be done. I would imagine that I'll get most of that done tomorrow, and then the rest of it on Monday. Today's Saturday for me. I'm getting closer and closer. I think for you, it's gonna end up being Monday. Um, but anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.